The beautiful region of Kashmir is once again at the center of a dangerous standoff between India and Pakistan. On April 22, 2025, a terrible attack occurred in Pahalgam. This peaceful tourist town was shaken when a group of militants attacked, killing 26 innocent people. The attack shocked both India and the world. India quickly blamed Pakistan for the attack. They accused Pakistan of supporting the militants and providing them with safe havens. Pakistan strongly denied these accusations. They claimed they had nothing to do with the attack and were committed to fighting terrorism. The Pahalgam attack has significantly worsened the already tense relationship between India and Pakistan. Both countries have a long history of mistrust and hostility. This latest incident has pushed them closer to the brink of conflict. The international community is deeply concerned about the escalating tensions. Many fear that the situation could spiral out of control, leading to a devastating war between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The root of the India-Pakistan conflict lies in the disputed region of Kashmir. Both countries claim this beautiful and strategic territory as their own. This dispute dates back to the partition of British India in 1947. When India and Pakistan gained independence, Kashmir was a princely state with a Muslim-majority population, but ruled by a Hindu Maharaja. The Maharaja was hesitant to join either India or Pakistan. He wanted Kashmir to remain independent. However, this changed when armed tribesmen from Pakistan invaded Kashmir. The Maharaja, facing an invasion, turned to India for help and agreed to join the Indian Union in exchange for military assistance. This led to the First India-Pakistan War over Kashmir in 1947-48. The war ended with a ceasefire line dividing Kashmir between India and Pakistan. However, the dispute over the entire territory remained unresolved. Since then, India and Pakistan have fought two more wars over Kashmir in 1965 and 1999. The Kashmir conflict is not just a territorial dispute. It is a complex issue intertwined with religious, cultural, and national identities. The people of Kashmir are divided in their aspirations. Some desire independence, while others seek merger with either India or Pakistan. This makes finding a peaceful resolution extremely difficult. India has several military options it can consider in response to the Pahalgam attack. These options range from covert operations to full-scale war. Each option carries its own risks and potential consequences. First, covert operations. India has a history of conducting covert operations across the line of control in Kashmir. These operations usually involve small teams of highly trained soldiers targeting militant camps or infrastructure. In the past, India has used covert operations to carry out retaliatory strikes without publicly taking responsibility. Second, surgical strikes. In recent years, India has adopted a policy of surgical strikes against terrorist launch pads in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. These strikes are announced publicly and are intended to demonstrate India's resolve to strike at terrorists and their infrastructure. For example, in 2016, India conducted surgical strikes on terrorist camps across the line of control following a deadly attack on an Indian army base in Uri. Third, aerial attacks. India could also launch airstrikes against alleged terrorist training camps or infrastructure in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. This option carries a higher risk of escalation, as demonstrated in 2019. After a suicide bombing in Pulwama, India carried out airstrikes inside Pakistan. Pakistan retaliated with airstrikes of its own, leading to aerial dogfights and the capture of an Indian pilot. Fourth, land grabs. Some in India are calling for the Indian government to take military action to capture Pakistan-administered Kashmir. However, a large-scale land grab is unlikely due to the significant military presence on both sides of the border. Fifth, naval demonstrations. India could choose to display its naval strength in the Arabian Sea. This could involve conducting naval exercises or deploying warships to the region. Recently, India conducted missile tests, demonstrating its long-range strike capabilities. This serves as a reminder of India's military reach. Sixth, full-scale war. A full-scale war between India and Pakistan is the most dangerous and least likely scenario. Both countries understand the devastating consequences of such a conflict, especially given their nuclear capabilities. However, miscalculations or unintended escalation cannot be ruled out. The international community is watching the escalating tensions between India and Pakistan with growing concern. The United States, China, Russia, and other world powers are urging both sides to exercise restraint and avoid any actions that could further inflame the situation. The United Nations is also playing an active role in trying to de-escalate the crisis. The UN Secretary-General has called for dialogue and diplomacy to resolve the differences between India and Pakistan. However, the UN's efforts have been hampered by the long-standing mistrust and animosity between the two countries. The situation in Kashmir remains tense and unpredictable. The risk of miscalculation or unintended escalation is high. The world is watching and waiting, hoping that cooler heads will prevail and that a peaceful resolution can be found. The alternative, a war between two nuclear-armed neighbors, is too terrifying to contemplate.